I'm going to describe to you how to graph an exponential function with a vertical transformation. So the black graph shows the parent function, so 2 to the x and then 3 to the x. The first graph, it says plus 1. What that does is that vertically shifts the graph up 1. So I had the point 0, 1, that will shift it up to 0, 2. All right, and then the additional point was 1, 2, that will shift it up to 1, 3. So that will now be my graph. We'll touch those 2 points. My asymptote has changed to be y equals 1. That line will not, this line over the graph down here, will not pass over y equals 1, which is this line right here. Okay, the original graph had an asymptote of y equals 1 right here. The line won't, or y equals 0, I'm sorry. The line won't cross, the graph won't cross that line. Okay, so the second graph, I'm subtracting 2, which means I'm going to take the graph and I'm going to vertically shift it down 2. So I'm at the point 0, 1. When I've shifted down 2, that's going to get me to 0, -2, or -1. And then the other point was 1, 3. If I shift it down 2, that's going to take me to 1, 1. Okay, so now this graph is going to be this way. Okay, and it would look like that. So originally the asymptote was this line here, y equals 0. So we've now shifted it down here to y equals -2 is the asymptote. All right, that's how we would graph with a vertical transformation. So graphing exponential functions with a horizontal shift. I've posted on here the parent function, 2 to the x power, and then 3 to the x power. So when we do a horizontal shift, the exponent has the extra number in it. So when we have a -1, we're going to take the graph and we're going to shift it the opposite. We're going to shift it right 1 unit. So originally the point was 0, 1, so when we shift it right, okay, so we're going to shift this point. When we shift it right, we're going to shift it over to 1, 1, because we took it 1 over. And then we shift the other point. We're going to shift that over 1 point to there. And then we have the graph. Again, our asymptote changed. Okay, but it would be under there. And if we're doing the y to the x plus 2 power, the plus 2 is going to shift it the opposite direction. It's going to shift it to the left. So our original point was 0, 1, so we're now going to be at -2, 1. All right, and the other point, the original point was at 1, 3. We're now going to be at -1, 3. And that, again, the asymptote has changed. And that would be what that graph would look like. So if you know the parent function, all the shifting is pretty easy to do. Inside the function, you shift left and right. When it's outside the function, you shift up and down.